86,400 seconds. That's your daily limit. But while you're trading yours for a paycheck, a billionaire is buying yours to build an empire. The math doesn't add up because the game is rigged. I'm Alex. This is Wealthonomics, where we expose the financial system the wealthy don't want you to understand. Last week we looked at how the 1971 pivot turned your savings into a depreciating asset. Today, we look at the only asset that actually matters, time. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your hard work is actually a form of time theft, and how the elite use time arbitrage to stay ahead. To understand why you're exhausted and underpaid, we have to look back to 1883. Before the Standard Time Act, time was local, fluid, and tied to the sun. The railroads changed that. They didn't just synchronize clocks, they commoditized the human hour. Suddenly, you weren't paid for the value you created, you were paid for the minutes you occupied a chair. This was the birth of the time for money trap. It was a system designed by industrial titans to ensure a steady, predictable flow of labor. It's a mechanism that benefits the owner of the clock, never the person punching it. This industrial-era conditioning is why most people think making more money requires working more hours. But there are only 168 hours in a week. Even at $1,000 an hour, you hit a hard ceiling. The wealthy understand that linear growth is a fool's errand. They don't work for an hourly rate, they work for equity and assets that decouple income from time. They aren't looking for a better paycheck, they are looking for a way to make their 24 hours produce the output of 24,000 hours. This is the fundamental shift from labor to leverage. The elite view time as a capital asset, not a renewable resource. They calculate the opportunity cost of every minute. If they can pay someone $50 an hour to do a task while they focus on a task that generates $5,000 an hour, they aren't spending $50, they are buying a 100-fold return on their focus. But here's what your financial advisor will never tell you. Most time-saving apps and gadgets are actually designed to keep you more productive for your employer, not for yourself. They want you to be a more efficient cog in their machine. Scaling your wealth requires scaling your presence. This is done through three types of leverage: capital, code, and labor. The wealthy use other people's money to buy other people's time to build systems that run while they sleep. This creates an exponential return on their initial time investment. While the middle class is busy saving time by doing things themselves, the wealthy are buying time by delegating everything that doesn't move the needle. They understand that DIY is often the most expensive way to live because it consumes your most precious, non-renewable resource. The part they deliberately don't teach in school is that the tax code is literally written to punish those who trade time for money. Earned income, the money from your paycheck, is taxed at the highest rates. Meanwhile, capital gains and corporate profits, the money generated by owning other people's time and systems, are taxed at significantly lower rates. The system isn't just rigged, it's designed to keep you on the treadmill while the owners watch from the sidelines. It's a deliberate architecture of time poverty that keeps you too busy to ever build an escape hatch. Everything I just told you is accurate. But there's a dimension to this story that almost no financial content creator covers: the concept of time asymmetry. You see, the wealthy don't just buy time, they buy optionality. While the average person is locked into a 40-year career path, the elite use their resources to ensure they are never forced to trade their time in a position of weakness. They aren't just richer in dollars, they are richer in no. The ability to say no to a bad deal or a toxic environment is the ultimate form of wealth. The wealthy also operate on a completely different time horizon. While the middle class is focused on the next 2-week paycheck, and corporations are focused on the next quarterly report, the truly wealthy are thinking in decades and generations. They aren't looking for a quick win, they are building intergenerational velocity. They understand that a small advantage compounded over 50 years creates a gap that no amount of hustle can ever close. This long-term thinking allows them to weather volatility that ruins everyone else. They don't panic because their clock is bigger than yours. Here's the thing that keeps middle-class families trapped generation after generation: the busyness trap. We've been conditioned to view being busy as a status symbol. We brag about our 60-hour work weeks and our lack of sleep. But to the wealthy, being busy is a sign of failure. It means you don't own your time owns you. True status in the upper echelons isn't a Ferrari, it's a blank calendar. It's the freedom to think, to strategize, and to wait for the perfect opportunity rather than jumping at every scrap of income. To break free, you must stop being a doer and start being an owner. This starts with a radical time audit. You need to identify your low-value minutes, the hours spent on tasks that could be automated or outsourced, and ruthlessly eliminate them. Your goal isn't to work harder, it's to increase the value density of every hour you spend. If you aren't moving toward a reality where your income is independent of your physical presence, you aren't building wealth, you're just decorating your cage. The transition is painful. It requires you to stop valuing your labor and start valuing your judgment. Start by buying back just 1 hour a week. Use that hour not for rest, but for high-leverage thinking or asset creation. Use it to build a piece of code, a content engine, or a business system. The stakes are your life. Every hour you spend in a time for money trade is an hour you've permanently deleted from your existence for a fixed, taxable sum. The wealthy aren't smarter than you, they just stopped selling their lives by the hour. 3 things to take from today. First, your hourly rate is a ceiling on your potential, not a badge of honor. Second, true wealth is measured in time, not currency. Third, the wealthy buy other people's hours to scale their own legacy. Remember those 86,400 seconds? Here's what that actually means: every second you spend building someone else's dream is a second you'll never get back for your own. Next on Wealthonomics, why saving money makes you poorer. If this changed how you see the system, subscribe. The next one goes deeper.